NWA Powerr, episode 5. Again, I love this episode. This episode was really, really good. You're talking about Colt Boom Boom. That's right, he goes by Boom Boom. Boom Boom. Right. What up, Sean? How you doing? This is a secret, by the way. Like I said, this was an awesome episode. A lot of action, a lot of great debut that we will definitely get into here in a bit. But leading off the show, Colt Boom Boom Cabana, comes out and promos his main event match for the NWA National Championship against the Cowboy James Storm. Really, really cool. And I love the fact that their roster right now has people that can get on a microphone and talk. And not just talk, but flow. And I think that's so key. Because when you get somebody up there that struggles, and there's plenty of them that we know that struggle, he is definitely not one. So, he really nice job by him promoting his match, the main event match against the Cowboy James Storm. And then he leaves, and then of course Aaron Stevens is pretty entertaining. I have to admit. Some people may call him like a poor man's Miz or a poor man's whatever. I don't care. The guy can talk. The guy can come out and he grabs my attention anyway. So I don't know about anybody else, but I definitely feel that he's found a home in NWA and whatnot. He comes out and he challenges Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks, really great athlete. Really, really good athlete. He accepts the challenge and whatnot, but I will say this. He's one of the young up-and-comers in this business. Hopefully NWA can hang on to Ricky Starks, because I really like the way he performs in the ring. And he's got some game on the mic, too. But it turns out to be it will be a 2 out of 3 falls match. We don't get to see too many of those. 2 out of 3 falls. So that's pretty cool. That is really, really cool. Sean says he reminds me of you. Nah. He's not a young Rock. The thing about The Rock back in the day was, if you go past the pineapple hairdo era, he just had a flow all to his own. I wouldn't say he's a young Rock, but athletically speaking, man, I'll tell you, he is second to none right now. So that's going to be seen later on in the show. Now the Dawsons come out, and the Dawsons have been making a lot of noise in the NWA tag team division and whatnot. And I like them. I really, really like them. Hey, what's up there, Danny? It's been a while, kid. Good to see you. The Dawsons remind me of the War Raiders, or War Machine, whatever you want to call them. Only these guys can talk. And it seems to be a theme with NWA. They're more for entertainment value than just putting somebody out there because of how they look. And if you look at the Dawsons, you'll see why. They're a couple of cupcakes short of like 600 pounds combined. Just saying. I'm not getting in their way, mind you. I'm just saying. Have at it, boys. But they had a nice win, and then Eddie Kingston and Homicide call themselves Outlaw Inc. These two, they've seen them back in the Impact Wrestling days and whatnot. But I will say this: they are really good. They are really good. And that's what we come to expect with Homicide and Eddie Kingston and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, it turns out that, they made a challenge to the Dawsons, and we'll find out. And we'll find out that, whether they accept or not. But I will say that was, yeah, I mean, they came out face to face, eye to eye. Awesome. Um, Now, important part of the show, Tim Storm comes out, and they had a nice little interview with him. And I will say this. Tim Storm is a very important part of the NWA right now. A very, very important part of the NWA. He is, he's a guy that before Nick Aldis, um, he carried NWA. He did. And you're talking about a guy in his 50s. And he is, one of those guys that, great locker room guy, been in the business for so long, and can teach the younger guys like Ricky Starks the do's and don'ts of this business. So I thought that was very, very cool. And then it was very interesting that toward the end of the interview, Nick Aldis came out, and because it looked like that Tim Storm was going to possibly announce his retirement, maybe? I don't know. I mean, it kind of, when you hear him talk, it kind of led to that. It was kind of leading to that. Then Nick Aldis comes in and says, hey, you don't want to say something that you're going to regret or whatnot. So we'll see what happens there next week. But it seems like that they are, who knows? I mean, Tim Storm, again, in his mid-50s, how much longer does he really have? Who knows? And then after that, we finally get the debut of Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is probably one of the most talented female wrestlers, women wrestlers out there. And she went up against Ashley Vox. And really, had control of the match the whole way. But I will say that Thunder Rosa, she's just a badass. She is just a badass to the hilt. And she won her match against Thunder Rosa. Marty Bell comes out after Thunder Rosa won. She was given Ashley Vox a beatdown of a beatdown of a beatdown of a beatdown. I'm just saying. And yeah, and then she comes out and says, whatever. And then Marty Bell, during an interview right after that, talks about Allison Kay and how she's her best friend and blah, 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 that old kind of lines and whatever. But I will say this, laying the groundwork, I mean, if you look at the women's division, Allison Kay, Thunder Rosa, Ashley Vox, Marty Bell, really, really, really cool. Solid women's division starting off anyway. And during the interview, Thunder Rosa Allison Kay comes out, confronts Marty Bell. Oh, you're my friend, whatever. Why didn't you come to me, if you wanted a shot at the title, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. And then Thunder Rosa came in and whooped ass. I mean, like I said, I've been a huge fan of Thunder Rosa for a long time. And back when she was Cobra Moon at Lucha Underground, and yeah, I mean, she is the real effing deal. And then she comes out, she jumps Allison Kay while she's confronting Marty Bell. Chaos ensued, of course, right? Yeah, and then, Cobra, I'm sorry, I almost said Cobra, but Thunder Rosa sitting there in the ring beating down Allison Kay, holds her up and looks at Marty Bell, and then Marty Bell starts beating up on Allison Kay. So there are no friends in pro wrestling, none, absolutely none. Despite what people tell you, absolutely none. So that big surprise, whatever, but it lays the groundwork for some really, really good stuff. Hey Joey, how you doing? And then leading into the 2 out of 3 falls match with Ricky Starks and Aaron Stevens. And for those of you who don't know, that's formerly Damian Sandow. But really, again, he's so good on the mic. I mean, why, however. But now, 2 out of 3 falls match. And the first fall went to Ricky Starks, who won that first fall in 3 seconds. That is a new record. Really. 3 seconds. I counted it. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. Yeah. 3 seconds. And then, after that, Ricky Starks took the second fall as well. 2-0 shutout. And Aaron Stevens has that look on his face of like, you just stole my Oreos. Yeah. Of course. But that looks like a nice rivalry that's going to be going on for a while, which is really really cool. Because Ricky Starks, again, really good talent. I'm looking for big things out of him. Maybe a national champion at some point. But yeah, I mean that whole sequence was really well done, I thought. And now, of course, after that, the main event, Colt Boom Boom. I don't know why they call him Boom Boom. I mean, but I will say this: it's great to see Colt Cabana back in the ring on a full-time basis. He is more talented than a lot of people think. He's really good on the mic. He's solid in the ring. Really good pickup for NWA. I really think that was a smart move by them. So the match goes back and forth, and we have a new NWA national champion in Colt Boom Boom Cabana. And there was a little altercation because accompanying them to the ring before the match, if I get it right here, Colt Cabana had Mr. Anderson at ringside, and then James Storm had Eli Drake. There was a confrontation with them outside. Camille, of all people, the insurance policy for Nick Aldis, comes down and gets involved. And during the course of that, the attention of James Storm may have been taken a little bit, maybe distracted him a little bit. That's when Colt Cabana got the win. So really awesome to see Colt Cabana with the NWA National Championship belt. Looked good on you. It looked good on you. But yeah, so that looked really, really cool. And I'm sure we'll see something from those two at somewhere down the road. And of course, now we thought that was the last match. We thought that was. But we have the Dawsons come down, and they say, we want our match right now, blah blah blah. They pretty much accepting Eddie Kingston and Homicide Outlaw Inc.'s challenge and whatnot. And it was really, really cool. Eddie Kingston and Homicide come out. Match starts. Get us a referee. Blah, blah. And then they got it on. And Homicide and Eddie Kingston come out on top. And of course, Wild Card, the NWA Tag Team Champions, were down at ringside, during this whole thing. And then who comes out to confront Wild Card? The Rock and Roll Express themselves, Ricky Morton. And and Robert Gibson. Good Lord. I mean, seriously, these guys have been, man, they were in the NWA in the 80s. I mean, good Lord. These two dudes are fantastic. And I will say this, yeah, they did a lot. Uh, they confronted Wildcard, and chased them away, while Homicide and Eddie Kingston, Outlaw Inc. got the win. So yeah, I mean, to me, NWA Powerr is such a throwback, and it's really a joy to watch. Uh, Fresh faces. Well, I shouldn't even really should say fresh faces because we've seen them before. Um, but yeah, I think it's great to see guys like Cole Cabana, James Storm, um, Aaron Stevens back, Ricky Starks, a young kid getting his shot. The women's division is solid with Allison Kay, Marty Bell, Ashley Vox, um, Thunder Rosa. Put on a really awesome show. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think NWA is definitely on the right track. It's, again, you can check these guys out on YouTube on Tuesday nights, 6:05. And yeah, I mean, it was a great show. We will see what episode 6 brings. And yeah, and I think, yeah, I gotta go eat. But yeah, so thank you all for joining me, and we'll see you again next week.